Hello everyone, I am Wendy with Winds of Change Ministries, and today I'm going to be discussing the flood. Uh, so anyway, um, yesterday, but before I do, I want to go into a little bit more about the mysteries hidden in the names of the generations that preceded Noah. Okay, so Mahalalel, his name means from the praises of all, from the praises of God. Yered means shall descend, and Chanuk, Enoch, means teachings. So from the praises of God, teachings shall descend. Now, the story of Noah, the waters descended, right? And those waters were meant to purify the earth. And I have said that we are a microcosm of the macrocosm, okay? So we have atoms in us. We are the earth that must be cleansed. And so there is a story. It's not just, I'm not just teaching surface level stuff. I am teaching the hidden meanings of things because we are in the season of oil. We're understanding where the Spirit of truth brings understanding of the things that have been hidden since the foundations of the earth. And there is a deep esoteric meaning to the story of Noah. All right? So now remember, his name means consolation, rest, right? And God rested on what day? The seventh day. All right? So, um, God looked upon the earth and saw that it was full of corruption, and he decided that he was going to destroy it. All right? And so he, uh, he found someone who was noble and worthy, Noah, and he gave him instructions to build the ark and then to fill it with animals. He would send them animals. And anyway, so the clean animals, he gave 7 pair of those, 7 pair, male and female. And the unclean animals, which are the carnivores, he only did 1 pair. So those went 2 by 2. But really, for the clean animals, there were 7 because uh, they are, the foundations of the food chain. Okay, so there needed to be more of those. A lot of people don't know that; they don't teach that. But anyway, so the floodwaters came in the 600th year of Noah. Now, I have said that mankind was created on the 6th day. All right, and if and that so the judgment of God, the judgment is only if he wanted to punish man. It made sense that he would link it to that number 6. Okay. Um, so anyway, sixth day, the uh, the 6th day is linked to the 600th year of Noah, where God's judgment came on mankind. However, mankind, it wasn't just mankind that suffered for their sin. All the beasts of the earth, right, were punished. So, um, anyway, yes, so all the beasts had to suffer because they were created on that same day. They were linked to mankind, all right? And so when you're talking about the ascension of something, we're talking about raising our conscious awareness from our carnal desires and ascending to a higher level. We don't just see, because let me back up. The story begins with the sons of Elohim, the sons of God, desiring the daughters of man, Adam, and they had children, and these children became giants, right? mighty men of renown, champions. Well, we have giants on the earth today. Okay, they are people who are very famous people. Okay, and they are great influencers. And so anyway, and unfortunately, the influencers in the world did not please, their behavior did not please God, so he brought judgment. Okay? So, um, yes, you can look at this as physical, but then you can look at it spiritual. Okay? And so, who would the sons of God be? They would be men who are strong and godly men, but falling to the lust of beautiful women. Okay, so they did not look; they were unevenly yoked. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to find someone, you men of valor. Okay, you want to find someone who you are evenly yoked with. All right, so that when they become giants, when they become famous and renowned, the influence that they have on the earth is positive, because because the parents do influence the children. And if it's not evenly yoked, if it's not a house where good morals are you know instilled, then those children, when they grow up, they're going to influence the world in a negative way. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to it. So the story of Noah. Now, Methuselah, okay, however you want to pronounce it, he died when he was 969, excuse me, and he died prior to Noah, and his name meant from his death shall come. You follow his genealogy, and it says, that it was going to be the from his death shall come, and I forget the exact words. I don't have my words with me, but the consolation of God. Okay, and so Methuselah died when Noah, right before Noah was 600. When he was 600, the floodwaters came. They came in the second month on the 17th day. Okay, which happened to be in the fall. In the Jewish calendar, okay, they have their civil calendar, where the Feast of Trumpets happens in the fall, and that is the first month of the year, but it's in the fall. And then they have another calendar, the calendar where when they left Egypt, God said, "And this shall be your calendar." And that calendar actually begins in the spring. Okay, so that's why it's so confusing that the Jews have two, depending on which calendar you're using, two New Year's days. Okay. But it's because of this. So God had the fall calendar, which is linked to Noah, and then he had the spring calendar linked to the children of Israel. But Israel actually keeps track of both calendars. All right. So the floodwaters came through the dark time of the year. Okay, during the darkness. Now, I have discussed that we all have our journeys. All right, we got to go up that windy staircase in darkness. All right, and currently, if we use the other calendar and start the well, let me just say real quick, God actually had me one year earn my merit badge for the 40 day for crying for 40 days and 40 nights, to earn that floodwaters Noah merit badge. And it happened on this particular year. We did the calculations, God and I, that particular year. It happened on 11/11 was when the floodwaters first started. This was several years ago, and it ended at the, get this, this is interesting. It ended at the winter solstice. That's when it ended that year. It was a couple years ago. The Jewish and Gregorian calendars don't always work out that way. So it started on 11/11, November 11th, and it ended at the winter solstice. This year, God is having me do another, earn another merit badge, the May Queen merit badge, where I started my 40 days not crying, but feeding the chicks. All right, feeding the chicks the manna of heaven, the honey flavored manna of heaven. So actually, call me the May Queen, call me the Queen Bee, whatever. All right, it's the same thing to me. But and that's why I have been sharing golden nuggets of wisdom and understanding from the Bible. Okay, and it started right there at the new moon in May. Okay, that's when this 40 days of feeding manna began for me, and as I earned my new merit badge. And here's the interesting thing: 40 days from that day. First of all, that day was a 3-year anniversary from when I gave spiritual birth to myself. Okay. I have lots of supernatural experiences, okay, and they're just really weird. But anyway, it's the 3-year anniversary from that. And so that's significant. 40 days from that period is the summer solstice this year. Okay? So one ended with the winter solstice, and another is ending with the summer solstice. So God, He gives me, to earn my merit badges, He gives me assignments. And anyway, yes. So for these 40 days, I'm going to be feeding the chicks, okay? So that people can raise their vibration, so they can gain higher understanding, and they can raise their vibration from the low vibing flies to the honeybees. All right. So let's explore the hidden mysteries of the story of Noah. Well, so the floodwaters came in the 600th year of Noah. Once again, that is that represents the judgment of God on the 6th. Now, I have already earned my 6th trumpet merit badge, okay, which is the judgment of God. And I'm not going to go into too much details of that. I've explained it in other videos. But yes, God had me blow the 6th trumpet of God's judgment. Okay? I've already done that. So I am very finely attuned to this. I'm linked to the number 6 like crazy. Okay? So I've had to earn a lot of merit badges concerning it. So the floodwaters came on the 2nd month, the 17th day of that month, and it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, similar to me giving this manna. All right, so then the floodwaters were on the earth for a period of time, and where things were jostling around. Okay, now I have had spiritual dreams where I was up in the heavens looking down on the earth, and I could see it spinning like a wash machine. Okay, seriously, I saw this. the earth was doing this, like gyrating, like a wash machine in its agitation cycle. And I watched the oceans go up on the land and pull people down, okay, from the land and drown them. Okay. And this symbolized the cleansing waters of God going and cleaning people. Now, was this a physical death? No, it's a spiritual death. And over the last several years, many people have they have evolved their intellect. They don't know me personally, but they have evolved, and they have expanded their consciousness, okay? And so these merit badges that I earn, they do have an effect on reality, all right? So anyway, so why was it spinning like a wash machine? Well, because one of the merit badges that I've earned is the red heifer merit badge, where I was put on a keto diet, burned a bunch of fat, and by someone, I was put on the keto diet by someone who I already identified me as the red heifer. Okay, and so the red heifer was a cow that was taken out of the city and burned, and burned whole, and its fat and stuff mingled with the ash, and of course it made lye. They took the ashes of this red heifer and they added to water, and it became the holy water. Okay, they used that water to purify people who wanted to go into the temple. These are people who had touched the dead, okay, and they weren't qualified to go into the temple, okay. So what does that mean? I know I'm getting really out there. I'm just trying to explain things to you guys the best I can. So that is the 2D version of this, okay? But we have entered a new season, and we're in the season of oil, where we are gaining understanding of things, okay? So the spiritually speaking, the holy water, lye soap water, is laundry soap. And so that agitation of the earth that I saw was how I was agitating the earth and cleansing it with the red heifer holy water. Okay, so anyway, when I interact with God and I earn my merit badges, you know, it's so that I can be a teacher and explain the higher levels of teaching of what this all means. See, there's a lot of people that want to teach things and they never lived through it. Okay, God has made me live through the Bible so that I am qualified to teach what I'm talking about. Okay, so anyway, the work has already been done. All right, so yes, I earned my red merit, my red heifer merit badge, became the last soap, the holy water, and then I earned my 40 days of crying for day and night. You know, crying for day and night for 40 days, and that was the agitation. All right, that was several years ago, and now I'm actually bringing understanding of all of this to you as I feed the manna to the children of Israel for these 40 days, which is a microcosmic time frame of what happened within the 40 days, the 40 years of the wilderness period. Okay, so we're looking at that time period on a micro. It was 40 years, but we're condensing it down to 40 days to fulfill prophecy and help me earn my merit badge as the queen bee, the May queen, who feeds the manna. Okay, because it's just one of my merit badges that I'm earning. So now let's move forward. After it was a year after the floodwaters came that they actually left the ark. Okay, so Noah was 101 years old. That's important. See, because if you're going to use 1,000-year count, right, for a day, for a step, for an era, whatever, for a phase, for a bullet point, if you're going to use 1,000 years, It actually starts on day 1, not day 0. Okay? So 600, that number is still linked to the 6th day. But 601, well, that begins the 7th century. That is the beginning of the 7th day. And what did God do on the 7th day of creation? He rested. Okay? He rested. So, the story of Noah is linked to the creation, to the creation week. All right. And now, if we expand that out even further, and we go from creation all the way to our current time period, we are on the cusp of entering God's day of rest again for the 1,000-year millennial reign. Okay. And this is, the Jews consider it, they know it as the Messianic era. Okay. And they will tell you that during the Messianic era, we are all like gods, those who ascend anyway, and that there's no need for the scriptures anymore, the Bible, that they will only use the book of Esther. Well, I have been, and I cried out to God, why are you making me reinterpret the Bible if it's even not going to be necessary? Well, the reason why is because I have been given the Esther anointing. Okay? So my Bible will become the gold standard during the Messianic era. All right? And even though we're only at year 5,785, according to the Jewish count, we know that, because the Bible says that in those latter days that time would speed up. So we're right there on the cusp of the Messianic era. Hello, I am here to help usher in the millennial reign. And I'm not just copying someone else's teachings, okay? God made me live through this stuff so that I would have understanding of it. Now, it was during this period, after Noah came out of the ark, it was during that first year that he had a covenant with God. Okay? And that covenant was shown with a rainbow. Now, he did some sacrifices, right? And then he had the rainbow. We ourselves, during this Messianic era, where we become like God, we have to let our carnal nature die. We have to get rid of that beastly nature to become one with God, the God of the Old Testament. You've got to follow the rules of the Old Testament. A lot of people think that they're just going to, ride on the coattails of other people who have done the work without doing it themselves and then benefit. No. That's not how this works. If you want to become one with God, you've got to honor, you've got to respect the laws of the Old Testament. Now, I'm not talking about sacrifices. We are the sacrifices. I'm talking about the commandments. I'm talking about, to love the Lord your God, Yehovah, your Elohim, with all your mind, body, and spirit, as what Jesus called the greatest commandment. All right? So, anyway, now let's talk about this covenant. So we are supposed to enter a new era, which has the rainbow. Okay, for Noah's time, we're looking at a picture, something that happened in the past that is going to repeat itself now, but not as a physical thing, but as a heightened spiritual thing, spiritual understanding. Okay, so that covenant is our covenant with God, our individual covenant with God. Okay, you only get that. Lots of people, they have understanding or they have knowledge, They have some wisdom, but they don't truly understand. Because if they did, if they truly understood why God put those commandments in place, then they would willingly honor and obey them if they truly understood. Okay? A lot of people have knowledge, they have some wisdom, but understanding is a requirement to expand your consciousness. All right? So, anyway, because God, he's not going to just let anyone in his pearly gates. All right? They have to be obedient servants of him. Okay? And then they become one with him. So, yes, the rainbow was a sign of that covenant. Now, in recent, like in the last month, I have had 3 dreams where I was in a rainbow. 3. Okay? So I am in covenant with God. All right? And I am trying to show people the way to become in covenant with him. You need knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You only get the proof of understanding is obedience. Not because it's forced upon us like the children of Israel. Do this or you will die in a physical way. No, no, no. Die to yourself, and then you have understanding. Die to yourself because you know that those behaviors, those carnal behaviors, were detrimental to your advancement as you ascend closer and closer to God. All right? So, I'm here right on the, right at the end of my Sabbath. The sun is barely, it's below the horizon, but I'm about to run out of sunlight, so I'm going to let this one go. My name is Wendy, and we're all living in the winds of change.